Konnichiwa, everybody. Now we get to chapter 4 now, okay? Because in chapter 3, all we saw was that big bro came in, and we don't know what he's gonna say, and he only just said that he wanted to talk with Lan Shan. So now we get to see what he talks about with Lan Shan. Again, I need to remind you that don't mind the angles, and it was a different camera, and my husband did not know about angles. So forgive him for that. And without further ado, we get to chapter 4. Chapter 4, Orphans.
Why?
It'll be explained once you get to the end. So let's speed things along. Now we know Big Bro is actually there. Wei Wuxian is in a panic. Lan Shan reassures him, hey, my brother isn't going to do us any harm. And then he looks at his brother. His brother's like, that's right. I'm not here to cause any harm. Actually, I came here so that way I can talk to Lan Wangji alone. May I? And Wei Wuxian just literally comes up and says, actually, Lan Wangji is my hostage. And if you do anything to us, something bad's gonna happen to him. And he's like, he's really not here to cause us any harm. That's when Big Bro's like, that's right. I'm not here to cause any harm. He just wants to talk to Lan Shan.
Well, I was gonna say, Wei Wuxian wanted Lan Shan as like assurance.
Yeah, insurance that nothing bad would happen.
Yeah, but he knows his brother.
He knows his brother. He's not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
Lan Shan asks Wei Wuxian if it's okay for them to use the cave. Wei Wuxian's like, yes, but... Yeah. Zewu-jun starts heading towards the cave, and Lan Shan's about to follow, but Wei Wuxian stops him. And he's like, everything's gonna be okay. Trust me. And I'm just like, if these two weren't smitten already, they're gonna be smitten soon. And because Wei Wuxian really doesn't want him to leave. When he gets in there, he sees his brother just looking around the room and being like... And Lan Shan says, sorry for the mess we just got here. And he's like, Wangji, I want an explanation of why you did this. Right. And did Wei Wuxian convince you to come up here on his own? Right. And he's like, there is no reason for explanation. I can tell you right now that it was out of my own will.
Right.
I decided to come up here.
Right.
He's like, do you have any idea what this is going to mean? Why not come back with me and vouch that these people are not doing anything? But we already know from the drama that Lan Wangji actually did do that when he was at the Jin clan.
Right.
When Mian decided to leave the clan, he actually said, they're not doing anything. They're just gardening. They want just to themselves. That's it.
Right.
But they still wanted to attack Wei Wuxian either way because he had the sturgeon tiger seal.
Right.
He already knows. He's like, that's not going to do any good. I thought the same thing before. It's like, that's not going to do anything. Why don't you vouch for us? Now, reminder, this is right after the Sunshot campaign. And the Lan sect is still rebuilding, so they don't have their riches like they used to.
Right.
So they can't afford that beef between the sects. So Zewu-jun can't do it either.
He has to rely on the Jins for money. And
yes. Other sects too. Yeah. Because they're voluntarily giving them money to be able to rebuild.
Money, protection. Yes. Who else is there? Jiang.
Yeah, we got the Jians, the Nians, Jin.
And the Jin.
So he can't afford to do that either.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you're really going to stay here? He's like, yes. It's like, why? He's like, do you even know what this means? You're just going to throw everything away? He's like, if that's what it takes. And he's like, all right, fine. You can stay. He's like, but just promise to write me. He's like, of course.
No.
Takes one last look around the cave. By the way, he never noticed Wending was there. Thank God. Thank God. Okay. He didn't notice Wending was there. And Big Bro decides to go out of the cave, nods to Wei Wuxian, and just leaves. As Lan Shan is at the opening of the cave. He's like, what did he want? Did he want to make you go back to the sect? He's like, yes. It's like, why didn't you go? He's like, do you want me to leave? He's like, no, I don't want you to leave.
Why didn't you go?
And he's like, okay, then I'll stay.
Right.
Not that the whole thing with Wending happened. They have to make the barrier a little bit stronger. So they decided to add a third layer of the barrier. Test it out with another girl named Wen Shu. She's the only one that has a slight golden core. And she said that it was a sting from touching it or attacking it. She's like, but I don't want to do that again. And if somebody else comes in that's as strong as Zewu-jun, they can definitely take it down. But for a normal person and for spirits, it's okay.
Right.
It's good.
Right.
And then at some point, Wen King and Wen Ning are actually fighting about if they should plant radishes or they should plant potatoes.
Oh, God.
And Wen King's like, radishes are easier to grow, period. And then he turns to Lan Shan being like, Lan Shan, wouldn't you want something tastier? And he's asking a Lan who has a bland taste. Lan Shan's like this, why don't we just leave it to the professionals? And Wen King's like, ha. And then he's like, why are you being so mean? And then the next day they're having a cloud problem. And they're like, how do we fix the clouds? He's like, Lan Shan, do you know any music that could probably make this resentful energy clouds go away? He's like, he's gonna make it funny. And he's like this, my family doesn't specialize in that, but I can try. And Wei Wuxian's like this, is he trying to be funny right now?
Yeah.
And it actually makes him laugh. And he actually makes him laugh. Because I'm just like this. Imagine saying that. My family doesn't specialize in that expertise, but I can try.
Right.
It's like saying, I don't know how to melt snow, but I could try. All of this is very happy-go-lucky, and they're starting to figure it out. And he even like plays along with Lanshan and saying, please help me with my potato petition. And he's like, okay, I will. And they have a moment, and then Lanshan starts doing this, babe. He starts crawling up a bit on Wei Wuxian's hand. And then Wei Wuxian's like, oof. It's like, no. You know why?
Why?
Because at the wrist, you can tell where the golden core is. At the wrist, it's like a pulse. You can tell where the golden core is. And if he touches him there, he'll know that he doesn't have one. So he like pulls away real fast. They were having a moment. They had locked eyes.
But Lanchan already knows.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't know.
He doesn't.
Oh.
He doesn't. No. A little bit more, Lanshan realizes that these guys have been through hell. Like, A1 and the Wens, they've been through a lot of... And when he sees the bond between Wen King and Wen Ning, he starts thinking about his brother and he misses him. Unfortunately, that's short-lived. Because guess what?
What?
The next morning, they got guests. And this time, it's more than before. And it's a lot of white robes.
White robes.
When the mist clears... It's Uncle Lan in the front, Zewu-jun right behind him, with a bunch of elder Lans. And Wei Wuxian's like, oh, He cues Wen King to come in and tells him, hey, get beachen. And she's like, okay. Then Lanshan's like, it's all right. We don't need beachen. He didn't say anything. He just cued Wen King as in saying, get beachen, just in case. And like he realizes he was cueing her to get something, and he's like, we don't need it. Zewu-jun, he bows. And then he's like, we offer a peace offering. A peace offering? All these guys for a peace offering? He takes out of the pouch Suibian and hands it to Wei Wuxian. He hasn't had Suibian this whole time because it was taken away by the Wens.
Oh.
So yeah, he got Suibian back.
Can't use it, but...
He can't use it, but it meant a lot.
Yeah.
And then that's when Uncle interrupts and he's like, Lang Wenji, I brought the elders here and you're forced to come back to the cloud recesses.
No.
And exactly, he's like, no. He's like, I'm not going back. I'm staying right here with Wei Wuxian. This is where I belong. And then he's like, oh, so you're gonna go against all of our family's wishes and all of our clan's wishes.
Yeah.
And he's like, is that truly what you mean? That I'm going against the whole sect? He's like, yes. Then he's like, this breaks my heart, babe. He goes up to Uncle and he's like, if I am defying the Lan sect rules and the family rules, then I am no longer part of the Lan sect.
Oh, he renounces.
He takes off the headband, takes off the passage token, and with a trembling hand, gives it back to Uncle, leaving everybody in shock. And he's like, are you sure this is what you choose? He's like, it is. Uncle looks pained, and Wei Wuxian's glad. He's like, you see what you made him do? And the whole time, Wei Wuxian's like, don't do this. Don't do it. You don't have to do this. You helped us enough. Go back.
Right.
He doesn't back down. Hands back everything. And Uncle's like, all right, fine. This means you are not a part of the Lans anymore. And walks out with the rest of the elders, while Zewu-jun is standing alone in the where they were standing. And he's like looking at Wei Wuxian desperately. He's like, convince him to come back. Convince him to come back. Wei Wuxian doesn't know what to do. He's not saying anything. Zewu-jun turns around defeated and walks out of the Burial Mounds.
Oh yeah, because at that point he just lost his brother.
Yes.
His little brother.
Yes.
Wei Wuxian, he's just shocked and couldn't think of anything.
And he looks at Lanshan, and Lanshan's head is down and his fists are trembling. And he's like, oh, Lanshan, why did you do that? Lanshan doesn't say anything, turns around, and just goes into the cave. That's the end of chapter 4. Imagine if that was in the drama.
Nope, I'd be crying. Right,
that's what I'm saying! I was just like, oh no! I was crying writing this, crying reading it. I can't deal. No way.
It's okay.
Can you?
No,
absolutely not.
I did have one thought in all of that.
What?
Does Zewu-jun ever find out that Lanshan isn't the same Lanshan from before?
No.
Damn.
That's not a spoiler. No, he never finds out.
Damn.
Yeah. We do find out a lot of things of Zewu-jun though.
Oh, of course.
No. Some things that I suspected about Zewu-jun.
But it's not canon with the story.
No, it's not.
Imagine.
But that's where we leave off for today. What do you think? So yeah, chapter 4 wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Was it? Was it that bad? But rereading chapters 4 notes made me sad. Who would have thought that Lan Chan would give up the Lan clan, give back his headband and his token? And Wei Wuxian didn't want him to. Like, how did it lead to Big Bro being like, come back and say your 2 cents for everybody to know, to him accepting it, and then everything going along great, and then the Lan clan comes in and tells Lan Chan, hey, you better come back with us or else. And he's like, oh, well, if you're saying that I'm breaking the rules, then here you go. Done. Over with. That's it.
Definitely surprised me.
Yeah, I like, for me, I'm just like, I can't. Can you handle this man without the headband, without the token? No, right? That's what I'm saying, though. Like, it's something that is incredibly something to not ever see, ever.
It's Lan Chan.
Yeah, it's Lan Chan. Lan Chan's not Lan Chan without all his accessories and everything. Right. And you'll see in the later chapters that Lan Chan actually becomes less of Hango-jun of Lan Clan and just Lan Chan. So hopefully you guys actually enjoyed that, and it's really intense. So if I would actually say, go read chapter 4 if you're following this. Go read chapter 4. And always remember, being weird is what? Better than being normal. And I will see you guys in the next one. Jane, and check out the stuff down below.